Welcome. Thanks for joining me. Today's rant comes from Dr. Phil. He has on a Professor Lester who is talking about cultural appropriations, the next newest race hustle that everybody's chasing after to find what it is that somebody can be racist about. And it illustrates the point that we've reached where we're grasping at any possible tiny little thing to call racist now because we've ran out of big actual issues to keep pointing at. So let's roll into it.
Dr. Neil Lester, a professor of English at Arizona State University, right?
I am, yes.
And what do you think about appropriation? Do you think this is a real thing, something that people need to be cognizant of? And if so, why?
Absolutely, absolutely. Well, because if we in fact are trying to look at the humanity of other people, and we are trying to live in a place where we are trying to be respectful and mindful of folks, then we need to be aware of things that are important to other cultures that don't necessarily look like us or share the same values. So it is a thing, and people need to be aware of.
This is garbage that is infecting the minds of our youth and creating racism. He's not a doctor of psychology or a doctor of race relations or a doctor of any of these things. He's just a doctor of English who's making a very bold statement against a psychologist. As you can see, the psychologist, Dr. Phil, pretty much clowned on it before he even got started to tell you, is it really a thing?
Can anybody appropriate?
Anybody can appropriate, yes.
Not just white people.
Absolutely. Appropriation is
Intersectional, pertaining to or formed by intersections or relating to intersectionalism. Intersectionalism, the study of minorities within minorities or intersections between minorities, specifically the study of intersections of multiple systems of oppression or discrimination. This is a huge problem we have with people who claim to be very intelligent, is that they'll use words like intersectional and intersectionalism to try to just make themselves sound important or make it seem as though to the people who are listening who aren't that informed about what intersectional or intersectionalism are, they are left in the dark thinking, oh, well, that's definitely an important thing. You know, he used a really big word, so that's got to be a big thing. Unfortunately, as I just read it to you, it's nothingness. It's a creation of finding racism and pinpointing every possible scenario where you can find where there might be a racist innuendo or racist situation where two things overlap, then all of a sudden it becomes racism.
Dr. Martin Luther King, Jr. My four little children will one day live in a nation where they will not be judged by the color of their skin, but by the content of their character. I have a dream today.
So old people can appropriate youth culture can appropriate old folks. People who are not incarcerated can impersonate, prisoners or those who are incarcerated.
You're now saying that people are appropriating stuff from prisoners and old people and young people. You're literally just grasping at nonsense when the term you just used is in the pursuit of finding racism. You have no intention of caring one bit about age discrimination. Your only pursuit is to find racism under every rock and nook and cranny that you possibly can.
Men appropriate women's attire for the sake of funny and mocking.
So you're saying that transgender isn't a real thing, that they're just doing it to mock or make fun of, that they're not really women in men's bodies or men in women's bodies or whatever the transitionary state happens to be. You're claiming that's not really a thing. You literally just criticize the hell out of transgenders, but yet at the same time acting as though your culture is more important than the transgender culture that they claim to have.
So absolutely anybody can do it, and everybody on some level may have flirted with it.
Okay, but a lot of the time that people that I've seen are called out for this, it's not that they were making fun or mocking in some way. It was just that they had adopted a fashion or a style or whatever.
I would say that's a performance. So if somebody's culture and somebody's identity becomes a performance, then it's reductive.
Unless this person wants to see segregation and wants to see separation. And that's what it appears he's selling, is the idea of segregation and separation, because he doesn't want to see any of his culture adopted by anybody else.
Amala, you don't agree.
I don't, no.
You think worrying about appropriation is a waste of time?
I think not only is it somewhat a waste of time, but it's nearly impossible. You just mentioned there are nearly hundreds of ways that one could appropriate somebody else's culture, and every single item around us in this room could probably be attributed to a certain culture. Do we have to constantly worry about what culture we gain things from?
So what I think gets overlooked a lot of times is that this idea that because we're all different colors now is that we have always been all different colors. Whatever you believe in, at one point in human history, there were only two people, and they were the same color, we'd assume. And throughout changes of human history, we went from just two people to now billions of people. And because we are all different colors now and speak all different languages, we forget the fact that we are all from the same original two people, regardless if you believe in God or you believe in evolution. There had to have been a point in history where there was only two people. And here we are now. So when you say cultural appropriations, we are all the same culture. And you're choosing to take your race and separate it from the rest of us races. It is segregation and dismissing the fact that we were all one color at one time. Whether it be black, green, or silver, I don't really care. The point that's being missed here is there is only one culture because there is only one humankind. Unification and forgetting about all of our colors would benefit us all a lot better than continuing to focus on what color you are and what color I am, and you don't get to take my toys and play with them. Thanks for hitting that like and subscribe button. Thanks to all my new subscribers. Thanks to all my subscribers. Thanks for watching. Later.